So meteorologist Mike Slifer tracking the very latest. Mike, when can we expect some of this to move out?
Caitlin, we see some improvements later this afternoon. Here's a picture that Joey sent in from Tallinn. Joey said there were about 2 inches of snow before a transition over to sleet. And here are some snow totals across Connecticut. Southeastern Connecticut saw some of the highest totals earlier today. We expect that to shift to northwestern Connecticut later this afternoon. And Mark will have updates for you coming up throughout the evening newscast today. 2.5 inches in Jewett City, 2 inches in Killingworth, 1.8 inches in Guilford, 1.5 inches in Rocky Hill and Staffordville. Stratford coming in at about 1 inch. So as you head west along the shoreline, totals were lower. So through about 2 o'clock, we're expecting snow northwest of 84, mix, freezing rain southeast of 84. And then later this afternoon, snow showers will taper off. We do expect one brief last push of snow across Connecticut. Tonight, cold as icy patches develop across the state. Temperatures will be dropping back. Anything that remains wet could certainly refreeze, especially if left untreated. Here's a live look at our ICAM in Waterbury, a wintry scene in the Brass City, 27 degrees, winds out of the east-northeast at 15 miles an hour sustained. Our ICAM in Old Saybrook showing similar conditions, shaking around just a little bit given the sustained breezes across the state. And here's a live look at our ICAM in New London. We were watching the plows earlier work their way through. And as Luke mentioned, what went from light, fluffy snow quickly became waterlogged. And we do expect the rain to continue in New London through about 3 o'clock. A brief, perhaps a bit of wintry weather before things wrap up entirely and we dry out tonight. First Alert Live radar showing that mixing line keeps moving north. Even these blues that we see popping up through Portland and East Hampton and into Glastonbury and Marlborough, that is likely mixed at this point in time. Across northwestern Connecticut, a bit of a lull. Some drier weather, especially north and west of 202. Along the 84 corridor at this point in time is roughly where the mix line is, mixing being reported up through the greater Hartford area at this point in time, and especially along the shoreline. And look at this, from westerly Rhode Island in through Stonington to New London, Groton, all the way almost to Old Lyme and Niantic at this point is where we see just plain rain beginning to appear. We've had reports of sleet from the Montville and Norwich areas for the last couple of hours, showing the progression of that mixing line moving north, with some people in the Woodstock area also beginning to report a bit of mix. So winter weather advisories remain in effect for the rest of today into this evening. Over the last 6 hours, you can see the progression of this area of low pressure as it's developing and starting to move on out. There's some drier air building in, and we do expect some lulls in between the showers later this afternoon. And then this evening, we clear out entirely. By 5, 6 o'clock, things will be improving rapidly. Temperatures back down below freezing statewide at 10 o'clock with clearing skies into the teens to near 20 degrees overnight tonight. So get ready for some colder weather and certainly again some icy patches tomorrow morning. First Alert Futurecast shows high pressure to our south, and that will open the door for a developing area of low pressure on Friday. So while tomorrow and Thursday remain dry, we do have our eyes on Friday. A big spike here in the static meter this weekend as we introduce the coldest air we've seen so far this season. On the First Alert 7-day forecast, we're in the 20s for highs tomorrow under mostly sunny skies. By Thursday, flurries remain possible in the afternoon as clouds thicken up across Connecticut. And then Friday, we watch the greatest risk for snow showers would be in the afternoon and evening. Blustery and cold on Saturday, highs in the lower half of the 20s. Let's walk through that snow potential at the end of the week. The American model certainly a little more amped here than the European model, with snow showers on Friday morning and Friday evening. But both models do show improvement as we get into Saturday morning, that whole storm system moving away from us, introducing in its wake blustery conditions. Here's feels like temperatures Saturday morning. Your first alert to wind chills back at, if not below, zero as we begin the weekend. And that blustery weather lasts through the afternoon. And even though Sunday is brighter, really not much warmer. Temperatures still about 10 degrees below average, in the 20s and breezy. However, early next week, we do expect temperatures to return to around average for this time of year, Caitlin, and we finally get to enjoy at least a couple days in a row of sunshine.
Okay. Well